Welcome everybody. It's Po0two's here, and you are all witnessing my first ever YouTube series. Exciting, exciting. We are playing Stardew Valley, and I just fired up a new game. We have a goal of playing through what I think is the best way to start your game in the first spring. I know there's a lot of guides out there and videos showing people maximizing profits and things like that in the springtime, and while that's definitely a viable strategy, I don't think that is personally the best way to start the game. So I'll kind of give you guys my opinion, and I'll be playing through, and we actually have another goal in mind depending on how this goes, and that's going to be a 1-year community center completion. So we'll dive into that a little bit further, but let's get to it. So, first things first, we're going to get as much into the ground as possible on this first day. One of the goals that I want to have for spring is to get farming level 6. And the reason we want to do that is so we can craft some quality sprinklers for the summer. Quality sprinklers are going to allow us to plant as much as possible without working very hard, which is great because we're going to have so many other things to do that I don't want to sit around and water crops all day. So, we are going for a few things here, one of them being mixed seeds. Obviously, free things are great, and seeds are no exception. So you'll see me using my scythe a lot. Just because it doesn't take any energy, and running around and hacking weeds for mixed seeds is a great way to spend time when you don't have a lot of energy to go with it. So I'm going to get these parsnips in the ground, and we're not going to plant our mixed seeds quite yet because I'm sure we'll be getting more today. And then our other goal here, real quick, is to get 50 wood to build a chest, because inventory management this early in the game is a disaster. As you can see, I am already completely full. At least as soon as I collect this sap. In this run, I will be getting the upgraded bag sooner rather than later. I understand minimal maximal type of guides are pretty against the early backpack upgrade, but I'm a pretty big proponent of actually having fun in games while playing and doing different types of strategies, and I can tell you firsthand, trying to manage your inventory with only these 12 spots is not fun. So as soon as we get this chest down, we'll dump some tools and head into town, because there is a lot to do in a little time. One of the first goals of the spring, specifically this day, I guess you could say, is to get an artifact early. Because the earlier we get artifacts, the earlier we get an extra 250 gold, which we can buy seeds with, as well as cauliflower seeds with 5 artifacts. And as you know, cauliflower seeds go straight into the bundle. So very important. Yes, I know I could have gone straight right into town, but I do like making this loop here just to double check for forageables or worms that I can attack and get a chance at an artifact here. But that doesn't look like it's going to happen with the worms. However, there are a decent amount of forageables. I'll be throwing some tips and tricks at you guys as we go here in no particular order, but the first one I want to tell you guys about is the experience that you get from foraging and cutting trees. All of the skills are built on a experience system, kind of a point system. Everything you do has the possibility to increase certain skills. So foraging increases by picking up items on the ground, like this one right here, And a standard forageable that you find on the ground gives you 7 experience points. Cutting a tree down, just the top portion of the tree, gives you 12. So it's kind of an idea of where is the best way to level up foraging. Technically, cutting the tops of trees is the best way. Cutting the stumps and the branches on the ground do nothing, but cutting hardwood trees and logs give 25. So, right here, we are going to purchase 1 bean starter, just because we need the bean for the bundle. We're not going to purchase cauliflower seeds, because as long as we get 5 artifacts in the first 10 days or so, we'll get 9 of them for free. So I'm actually going to spend the rest of my money on potatoes, and I'll drop 2 more on parsnips, because I can't afford potatoes anymore. Nothing else here are in the bundles. Tulips and kales and jazz aren't in there. To me, potatoes are the best crop, mainly because it only takes 6 days to harvest. You have the option, or I should say the chance to harvest 2 or 3 of them instead of just the 1. And if you didn't know, the way to increase your farming is by actually harvesting crops. So, by harvesting a potato and actually getting 2 or 3, your farming will go up faster. Which, like I said earlier, the goal is to get to level 6, so faster the better as far as that's concerned. Oh, got some worms here. 2 stone. That is completely worthless. But we're going to be kind of running around aimlessly for a little bit here. I'm also going to run down and check the bottom forest for some spring onions, because we are already running low on energy, and although those do not sell for much, those are fantastic for getting your energy up during harvesting or farming and things like that. But if we do find any more forageables, that's just going to be icing on the cake. There's Haley right here. Yeah, she likes her camera, doesn't she? Oh, I did not see this. A book. Probably the most worthless thing you can get out of attacking those worms. They're nice for new players because it gives you some tips and things like that that you wouldn't really know without, looking at the wiki. But this is actually a pretty good chunk of spring onions. But yeah, so we're in a good spot with those. We got 1 gold one, which, although it is gold, I'm actually going to eat it now because it's taking up some extra inventory space. So as soon as we kind of make our rounds here, we are going to run back and plant the rest of this, and then we're actually going to chop another chest, and I'll explain why, or chop trees for another chest, I should say. And I'll explain why tomorrow. But yeah, the run, like I said, is just going to be kind of what I think is one of the better ways to start your spring. But the main goal is to get the community bundle, or community center, in the first year. And in order to do that, we're going to be focusing a lot on the traveling cart as it shows up. For those that aren't familiar with it, the cart shows up every Friday and Sunday. And it gives you a random amount of goods that you can purchase, and we are looking for a few things that will make this run easier or even possible. And the main one is going to be the red cabbage. If we cannot get that from the traveling cart, we will not be completing our community center, unfortunately. I've seen a lot of people attempt this run, and a lot of them mistakenly claim that you can get red cabbage from mixed seeds in summer. That is 100% false. There is a specific group of crops that are possible to get out of mixed seeds, and I can promise you red cabbage is not one of them. So, the traveling cart is our only chance at getting that. And as you can imagine, there is a pretty low chance, I think, all things considered, to get it. I think it's a 2.5% chance every time the cart shows up that she will sell a cabbage. And then there is a 1.5% chance that she'll sell red cabbage seeds. So we're going to be looking out for either one, but that does kind of limit us as far as what we can complete without it. The other things we'll be looking for are rabbit feet and duck feathers and probably a pomegranate. Mainly because pomegranates are fairly important. You know, they work in 2 different bundles. And in one of the bundles you absolutely have to have it, which I believe is the enchanting bundle. It works for the artesian bundle as well, but with that one you can technically use, I think, 12 different things to complete just a 6 spot. But regardless, still important. But right now we're going to just be kind of chopping weeds. There's a reason I left this weed alone over here, is because for those of you that don't know why I chose the forest farm, one of the main reasons is this special weed right up here, if you can see it. It's got kind of a green ball in the middle with 4 little curly things. This particular weed drops seeds 100% of the time. And yes, I told you mixed seeds do not drop red cabbages. They do still give us free seeds. Free seeds will give us farming skill. Farming skill gives us sprinklers. So there are reasons for everything. But I should have gotten my axe. Like I said, I want to build one more chest, and we're not going to place this chest. We are actually going to be taking it with us tomorrow. Another YouTuber named Pinstar actually gave me this idea, but if we take this chest with us fishing, we can drop it right next to where we're fishing and just keep placing things in there. That way, we don't have to fill up and walk all the way back and waste valuable time. There is actually a website out there that somebody put together, so kindly I might add, where they played a game and put jack-o'-lanterns on every single space in the whole town. And then they went ahead and powered through the year and found out which jack-o'-lanterns were still standing. The reason why that's important is because that gives us a map of all of the places we can put things and guarantee that they won't disappear. Because if I place something in town and a villager needs to pass, they will actually destroy whatever it is we placed. And that is bad. But that leads me to my next point. This will be a fairly heavy fishing season for a few reasons. One, it's decent money. 2, we have to get our skill up in order to catch 2 of the more difficult fish in the spring that are both part of bundles, I believe, and that's the eel and the catfish. But yeah, I mean, early on in the spring, it's by far and away the best way to make money. We can get to level 5 pretty quickly, and once we're at level 5, we'll sell all the fish that we caught up to that for a 25% increase. And that will actually give us a really decent amount of money. But a few other goals we have before we start summer. I'd like to get a silo, possibly 2 of them. That way we can cut all of our grass here. I think I'd like to get a chicken coop. We need a copper watering can, a copper hoe. We're going to need probably a steel axe and a steel pickaxe. And yes, this all is definitely aggressive, you could say. But I believe it's attainable, and we're definitely going to try it. But I think we're going to go ahead and chop a few more weeds and call it a night. First few days aren't super entertaining, but they're important, so it's got to be done. Tomorrow will be, like I said, a pretty heavy fishing day, so there's a good chance that I'll start, maybe get through a little ways, and then give you guys kind of a fast forward point per se. So if you don't want to sit there and watch me fish, you can just get straight to the end of it. Chances are I'll get some treasure during that too that I'll be able to show you guys. And man, did it get dark. Wow, we're actually running out of weeds there. Which is a good thing. All right. Well, I have enough energy to get one more of these in the ground. Cool. Well, we got extra horseradishes. We're going to go ahead and sell those. Then I think we're going to go ahead and get ourselves prepared to water everything really quickly in the morning. And then run and grab that fishing pole. Yes, yes, we know. But I'll go ahead and stop the video here, and we will continue